Advanced care planning is actually a very culturally safe way of introducing the topic of preparing for end of life. Advanced care planning enables somebody to talk about what their wishes and needs are in their journey towards end of life and what will give them quality of life. Talking about it with their family, with their carers, with their health professionals is really important so everyone's on the same page. Sharing that plan with everybody around you means that as you deteriorate, that your wishes will be adhered to at those times.
It's all about thinking about what the goals of care and what your personal goals might be. What will be important to you is what's important to you. It's actually very, very personal. So you might have a date in mind where you want everything done to get you past that date. On the other hand, you might say, I'm sick of it. Please don't do so many interventions. The treatment is just making me sick. Or the treatment means I can't communicate anymore to my family, my carers, and so on.
So the emergency department is a fantastic place where you need to be if you're going to get interventions and care that is going to potentially save or prolong your life. It is a noisy, busy, chaotic environment. You often see practitioners who don't know you, and often as practitioners and as families, if we don't know, we tend to do more and we do things that we wouldn't necessarily want done to ourselves given that same opportunity. So if someone comes to ED and it becomes clear early on that they aren't for painful procedures, life-prolonging procedures, then we can actually very quickly look to get them into a community setting, look to get them supported at home by experienced palliative care practitioners, and if that's not a possibility, still getting them somewhere in the hospital that's more private, quiet, where they can have more of their family around them. It's hard for the patient, it's hard for their families, and it is hard for the practitioners when you almost feel forced to do something because you don't have enough information and you know that it's not really going to change the outcome.
We're slowly getting there, but I think there's a lot more work, and I think that work needs to happen not only in institutions, but also in the community. You know, mums and dads and kids, councils and all of that, to spend time, effort in looking about advanced care planning. Like, what is it that I want at the end of my life? Maybe the discussion also needs to be, well, what about the living? How well do I want to live till the end of life? How does that look for me? But it's about choice, it's about articulation, it's about communication in a safe environment.
It is all about that sort of open discussion, and it's easy to say shared decision making, but it's a complex area because you're dealing again with all the nuancing of culture, faith, tradition, expectation, and also then the sort of medicalised or side of the equation. The more that you can, I think, have realistic and honest discussions, the better. I think there's an importance of capturing what values and beliefs and understanding they want for themselves is important. And it's not to say this is the absolute decision maker, but it's to give guidance.
All right, if we come over, Tommy, have a chat. Kurt and I, we were going to talk to you a bit more about looking after old man when he's getting sick. So we were going to have a bit of a yarn about what sort of health care you want. Tommy's going to want to go to Darwin when he gets really sick, or whether you'd like to stay on country.
Creating opportunities to talk about death and dying is essential. That is a natural part of life, and having children and young people involved in preparation for funerals or other types of events that mark the passing of someone's life sets up that conversation in our society. Also having conversations about what gives them quality of life in general is a really great opener. To just start a conversation with a friend or a colleague about what sort of things are important to you in life and what do you enjoy in life. That's really a great way to start to think about what gives people meaning in life, and therefore when they experience a life-limiting illness, how they can think about those things.
Alan's decision, after pondering and researching, was to have no treatment. That was his journey, and I believe fully that he got longer not having any of that treatment, and he was still up in his chair every day, living life. So I just went along with whatever made him happy. His whole life was conversation. It was social interaction, having a beer with someone, or having a coffee. He had little entourages of people that would come and pick him up and take him out, and they go shopping. You know, getting people to be able to prepare and plan their own death, it's not morbid, it's like it's going to happen to all of us. Wouldn't it be great if you could go out the way you wanted to?
The human mind and spirit are extraordinary, and it's amazing what hope can do in terms of providing enhanced quality of life and even prolonging someone's life. But there needs to be a balance between that hope and adequately informing a patient at a time where they're able to express their wishes.
As individuals, we have an obligation to ourselves and our family to talk about what sort of death we want, because otherwise the healthcare team has an obligation to assume that you want to have all these interventions that in the end actually shorten your life. There's a cost to society of failing an individual and not giving the right care, not talking to the person about what they really want and what their needs are, and just assuming they want all these other things.